It's a beautiful language. Once you learn Spanish, you can understand Portuguese, Italian, and French. I haven't been back to my country since I was 14 years old, and I served in the United States Marine Corps. I went in 1960. I came in 59 when I came to the States. I'm sorry, I'm getting confused here. And then in 63, I went and served in the Marine Corps. The way I learned to speak English, believe it or not, we had a black and white TV, about this small. They weighed about 100 pounds. We got a TV, man. But anyway, I sit down at night and I looked at my parents and my sister said, look at me, in 6 months I'll be speaking English. And they go, come on, Ron, watch it. So I sit down and watch cartoons, put through my growth and hurry her heart. And that's how I learned to speak English. Now Latino Jews, and Latino Jews is Spanish, French, Portuguese, and Italian. That's what you call Latino Jews. Oh, buenos días, señor. ¿Cómo está? Muchas gracias. Pase adelante. Ah, ahora, qué bonito día. And that's the way to talk. That we would, it's just like being in Italy. Now you go to Puerto Rico or Cuba. Oye, coño, ¿por qué pasa contigo? Oh, Ave María Santísima, pero qué lindo día está ahora. That's the language. You go to Nicaragua, they go, hey, oh, ¿qué pasó contigo? A ver, hey, ¿y cómo está? That's the way to talk. So it's the different languages, there's a different dialects in each country. You go to Mexico, hola amigo. Hola, dice, pero ¿qué pasó contigo? See, it's a different ways down there. The greetings in Costa Rica, the culture is that when you meet somebody, especially ladies, they kiss each other. Like if I invite you to my house, you come to my house, for the first time in my house, the ladies come and they give you a kiss, welcome to my house. Men don't kiss, men shake hands. You shake the hand of a man, you welcome to my house. Another thing in Costa Rica, you never promise somebody, you say, yeah, okay, I'll be in your house tomorrow. You never do that. You say, maybe. That means yes or no. If I ask you for a favor, can you do me a favor? Can you do this for me too? You said maybe. Anything, maybe, anything. You never promise somebody yes or no. And then later on, you do that job, whatever you have to do. A favor you do, and in return, the only thing we want is your friendship. We like butterflies. I don't know why butterflies to us is the most beautiful thing in the world. When we were little kids, our parents used to tell us, a butterfly is like a woman. I go, oh, really? Yes. He said, a woman is born like in a cocoon. And then when she grows up, her wings expand and she flies away. And that is the beauty of the woman. My wife is visit Costa Rica, and I want you to tell, come here. She can tell you what she experienced there with my family. What she can tell you more because she just came back.
And we arrived in Costa Rica about 9 o'clock. But as we were going, south, probably Guatemala, it was just, I couldn't tell what was going on. I didn't know if it was storming or what it was, but it was dark. Well, Costa Rica is at the equator, and that's one thing I had a really hard time. It was May, and we have daylight quite a while in the evening, but there at 6 o'clock at night, it was dark, like 10 or 11 o'clock. And at 2 o'clock in the morning, it was, sunshine.
Then, interestingly enough, the way that the government kind of came about is coffee became like a huge suppose, source for income in Costa Rica.
I drink coffee a lot at home, and I sleep good.
And so there became a lot of coffee barons, or basically people who own coffee plantations who became very rich and very powerful, and those people influenced the government and basically ran the country. Slang word for a native Costa Rican. It's a diminutive suffix, so it's like ito, but in Costa Rica they use tico instead, which basically means something small. Oftentimes they'll add it to words in Spanish to use it as a term of endearment. So, hermanitico, for example, you could say like, oh, my little brother, hermanitico, you know, and kind of talk about somebody lovingly that way. So tico, there are two theories of how it came about. It was either a solely just because it was like, oh, a term of endearment, or for a little while, a lot of people from Costa Rica referred to themselves as hermaniticos during a war where this not very nice guy from America named William Walker came down and tried to take over a bunch of South American countries. He was a filibuster, so that means he wasn't doing things legally, or he wasn't backed by America necessarily. He just kind of decided to build his own army and go try and take over the world.
Y si quieren comer más, ¿no? Más gallo pinto,